The iconic Neil Tennant of Pet Shop Boys fame isn't holding back when it comes to his views on today's pop music landscape. The 70-year-old pop pioneer, who rose to fame in the 1980s alongside his musical partner Chris Lowe, recently threw some major shade at modern chart toppers like Taylor Swift and Oasis. In a candid interview, Tennant claimed that today's pop music is overly narcissistic and lacks the originality that once defined the genre in the 80s, a period he calls the golden age of pop. So, what does this veteran of synth-pop have to say about today's artists? And why does he think the 1980s were pop music's peak? Let's dig into Tennant's pointed critique. Neil Tennant's remarks came shortly after he and Chris Lowe were honored at the MTV European Music Awards in Manchester, receiving the first ever Pop Pioneers Award. This recognition celebrated their lasting impact on pop music, particularly their innovative use of electronic music and the unforgettable visual elements they bring to their performances. To mark the occasion, the duo treated fans to a special mashup of their classic West End Girls and a cover of David Bowie and Mott the Hoople's All the Young Dudes. But it was Tennant's sharp critique of modern pop, particularly his comments on the music of Oasis and Taylor Swift, that had people talking. Reflecting on the music scene today, Tennant expressed disappointment in how the genre has evolved, or in his view, devolved. "I find pop difficult now. I don't like the sound of it," he said, noting that, as an electronic musician himself, he's well-versed in the production techniques of today's pop. However, he finds the music too processed and narcissistic, a far cry from the boundary-pushing creativity of the 1980s. To Tennant, today's music feels formulaic and lacking the sense of experimentation and melodic complexity that defined his own era. Tennant reserved some of his strongest criticism for Oasis, the Britpop band that rose to fame in the 1990s and whose frontman, Liam Gallagher, recently won the MTV EMA for Best Rock Act. According to Tennant, even as popular as Oasis became, their music didn't compare to the bold creativity of the 1980s. He recalled the golden era of pop as a time when bands like Spandau Ballet, Culture Club, Tears for Fears, and New Order, alongside the emergence of rap music, were constantly pushing the idea of a pop song. He argued that the 1990s marked a shift toward nostalgia, with bands like Oasis attempting to rewrite the Beatles rather than creating something entirely new. For Tennant, this marked the beginning of the fizzling out of pop's golden age, leaving today's scene struggling to live up to that creative legacy. Taylor Swift, however, was a central target of Tennant's critique. Swift's sweeping success at the MTV EMAs, where she took home awards for Best Artist, Best U.S. Act, Best Live Artist, and Best Video, was perhaps an ironic backdrop to his comments. Tennant had previously expressed his ambivalence towards Swift's music, questioning her focus on personal relationships and her self-centered lyrics. For him, Swift's style of songwriting, where much of her material draws on her past romances, lacks the broader, universal appeal of classic pop songs. He contrasted this with the style of the 80s, when pop music often explored diverse themes and stories. He went so far as to question Swift's catalog of hits, asking, "What is Taylor Swift's Billie Jean?" referencing Michael Jackson's timeless hit, and implying that Swift's work doesn't have the same staying power or cultural impact. In Tennant's view, Swift's penchant for writing about her ex-boyfriends sets an unfortunate standard in the industry, where fame is now seemingly linked to a revolving door of public relationships. He commented, "To have a successful pop career now, you have to have a series of relationships which are amazing and then break up tragically." He even wondered aloud about the impact this might have on the other half of the relationship, questioning whether it's fair for artists to mind their personal lives so heavily for content. Tennant contrasted Swift's approach with the carefree storytelling of 1980s pop, noting, "People don't write songs like Karma Chameleon anymore." The Pet Shop Boys have built their career on challenging the conventions of pop, and their success speaks for itself. Since first meeting by chance in a London hi-fi shop in 1981, Tennant and Lowe have sold over 50 million records worldwide. In 1999, They were even named the most successful music duo in UK history. Hits like It's a Sin and West End Girls have left an indelible mark on music history, and the duo's ability to fuse socially conscious lyrics with catchy melodies set them apart from the start. For Tennant, pop music should be more than just a mirror of one's own experiences. It should push boundaries, tell unique stories, and connect with listeners on a level beyond the artist's personal life. Neil Tennant's critique of today's pop music, and stars like Taylor Swift and Oasis, may ruffle some feathers, but it's clear that he's passionate about preserving what he sees as the true essence of pop. For Tennant, the 1980s were a golden age, defined by innovation, individuality, and a drive to experiment with sound. As the Pet Shop Boys continue to tour and receive accolades for their contributions to music, Tennant remains hopeful that today's artists will push beyond formulaic and narcissistic songwriting to create something truly memorable. What do you think? Is modern pop missing the magic of the 80s? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Fame Journey for more insights into the music world's biggest stars and the stories that shape their legacies. Thanks for tuning in!